Yo, it's Glued to Heske again, your favorite AI storyteller. Sure you're ready for today's story? Let's go!
It was one of those lonely, rainy evenings, the kind that made the city feel cold, even with thousands of people around. Daniel stood under bus stop roof, holding a broken umbrella, tired from life. At 26, there was one pain he never escaped. He never knew his real family. He was adopted as a baby, after being found abandoned during a hospital fire. No parents, no siblings, no history, just silence. Then suddenly, a young lady rushed into the bus stop, soaked in rain. Long black hair, brown eyes, and a smile that somehow felt familiar. "I hate rain," she laughed softly. Daniel smiled.
Whew, it's really coming down.
You look soaked, you okay?
Better now. Mind if I wait here?
No, please stay.
Hey.
And for the first time in years, his heart moved. Her name was Lena.
That night, they talked for hours, and somehow, it felt like they had known each other forever. Weeks became months. Daniel and Lena became inseparable. Movie nights, late night drives, long phone calls till sunrise. Everyone around them saw it. Lena healed parts of him. He didn't even know were broken. But there was something strange. They liked the exact same foods. Sometimes they finished each other's sentences. And whenever Daniel looked into her eyes, he felt connected to her in a way he could never explain. One afternoon, Daniel took Lena to visit his adoptive mother. The old woman welcomed Lena warmly, until she noticed the necklace around her neck, a silver half-moon pendant. The old woman suddenly froze. Her hands began shaking. "Where did you get that?" she whispered. Lena looked confused. "I've had it since I was a baby." The old woman slowly stood up and walked into her room. A few moments later, she returned holding another pendant, the exact same half-moon. Together, they formed one complete circle. Daniel's heartbeat stopped. The old woman burst into tears. "Oh God, these necklaces belonged to twins." The room became silent, cold, heavy. Then the old woman looked at Lena carefully and whispered, "Show me your shoulder." Lena slowly pulled her dress slightly aside, and there it was, a small birthmark, the exact same mark Daniel had carried since childhood. The old woman broke down crying, "No, no, this cannot be happening." Then finally, she revealed the truth she had hidden for 26 years. During the hospital fire, 2 babies disappeared, a boy and a girl. Daniel and his missing twin sister, Lena.
Keep moving, this way!
Daniel, where are you? Lena, please answer me! We have to go now!
"No," Daniel whispered. "This can't be true." Lena's body trembled uncontrollably. Everything around them suddenly felt unreal. The love, the memories, the dreams they shared. All of it shattered in seconds. Daniel stared at Lena with tears in his eyes, and for the first time, he noticed it clearly. The same eyes, the same smile, the same birthmark. Daniel punched the wall screaming, "Why would life do this to us?" And Lena cried harder than she ever had before, because the man she loved was her brother. Days later, the DNA results arrived. 99.99% match. Daniel and Lena weren't soulmates. They were brother and sister. Grace stood alone in the living room, secrets she and Ryan had buried for years. Her heart pounded violently, immediately. Grace quickly dialed Ryan's number, her husband who had traveled for a business meeting earlier. The phone rang, and rang,
Ryan, it's me.
and rang.
Please answer.
No answer. She ended the call
Please pick
and
up.
tried again. Still nothing. Fear slowly crept into her chest. Standing in the rain one final time, Lena cried and whispered,
Maybe we met to find each other, not to belong to each other.
Daniel's voice trembled. I wish we never found out. Lena shook her head slowly. No, the truth hurts, but living a lie would have destroyed us later. Daniel lowered his eyes. The pain in his chest felt unbearable. For a few moments, neither of them spoke. Then Daniel finally broke the silence. What about your mom? Lena forced a small smile. She's away on a business trip. She should be back next week. Daniel nodded. My adoptive dad is also away on a business trip. He paused. Maybe next week. All of us should meet. Lena smiled sadly. Yeah, maybe we should. That night, Daniel drove home alone. His mind replayed every moment with Lena. The bus stop, the first smile, the first date, the DNA results, the truth. His eyes filled with tears. Suddenly, thud, his car slammed into something. Daniel immediately hit the brakes. His heart nearly stopped. He stepped out into the darkness. Rain continued falling. The road was empty. Nothing. No person, no animal. Nothing. A splash echoed from the nearby river. Daniel looked toward the water, but the darkness revealed nothing. Terrified, he got back into the car and drove away. Far below the bridge, an old fisherman sat quietly in his small wooden boat. He had been fishing throughout the night. The river was calm, silent. Then suddenly, splash! Something large crashed into the water. The fisherman quickly looked up. In the darkness, he saw headlights stopped on the road above. But he said nothing. He simply returned to fishing. The next morning, the fisherman spotted a body floating near the riverbank. He immediately called the police. Within minutes, Officer Blake arrived and the fisherman narrated what he experienced the previous night. The victim was a woman, well dressed. Blake ordered the area sealed. Hours later, recovered CCTV footage revealed a vehicle passing the area during the night. The camera clearly captured the license plate. The vehicle belonged to Daniel. Daniel was immediately arrested. At the police station, Daniel sat frozen. His world was already falling apart. Now he was being accused of murder. Meanwhile, Officer Blake identified the victim. Her name was Sarah Hart. He searched for next of kin. A phone number appeared. Blake dialed. The call connected. Hello, it was Lena. Blake hesitated, then spoke carefully.
Miss Lena, I'm sorry. Your mother has been found dead.
The phone slipped from Lena's hand. Hours later, Lena rushed to the police station. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Then she saw him, Daniel, handcuffed, behind a holding cell. No, she whispered. Daniel looked up. The moment their eyes met, they both broke down. The woman Daniel was accused of killing was Lena's mother. The woman who should have become his mother-in-law was actually his biological mother. But something bothered Officer Blake. Very little blood had been found near the accident scene, and during examination, he discovered something shocking, a gunshot wound, directly through Sarah's chest. Blake frowned. That doesn't make sense. An autopsy was ordered immediately. The report arrived 2 days later. Cause of death? Gunshot wound. Estimated time of death? More than 24 hours before Daniel's accident. Daniel had not killed Sarah. He had only struck a body that was already dead. Someone else was the murderer.
We arrested the wrong man.
4 days earlier, Grace received a phone call. Her friend owned a newly opened restaurant. The voice sounded nervous. Grace, I think I just saw Ryan. He's holding another woman. Grace's world stopped. That evening, Grace drove to the restaurant. She waited and watched. Ryan sat laughing with a woman, his hand wrapped around her waist. The woman was Sarah Hart. Grace followed them after dinner. Ryan drove Sarah home, then kissed her and left. Grace Grace sat in her car, shaking with rage. Minutes later, she walked to Sarah's door carrying a pistol. Inside the house, Grace confronted Sarah. The argument became heated. Voices rose, accusations flew. Then, bang! The gun fired. Silence. Sarah collapsed. A red stain spread across her chest. Grace stared in horror. No, no, no. Her hands trembled. She never meant to pull the trigger. But it was too late. Sarah was dead. Panicked, Grace decided to dispose the body off the road to make it appear like an accident. Days later, that same body would end up near the river. The same body Daniel unknowingly struck with his car. Unable to live with the secret, Grace finally confronted Ryan. "I know about Sarah." Ryan froze. Then Grace revealed everything. The affair, the confrontation, the shooting, the body. Ryan turned pale. Without saying another word, he contacted the police because he was scared Grace could shoot him too. Officer Blake was assigned to the case. Grace was arrested, charged with murder, and brought to trial. The courtroom was packed. Daniel, Lena, Ryan, Officer Blake. Everyone waited. Grace sat inside the defendant's cubicle. Then the judge entered. Judge Frederick, known throughout the city as Scarface. His face carried deep burn scars. The room stood. Court began. As Judge Frederick scanned the courtroom, his eyes suddenly stopped on Ryan. Something felt familiar, very familiar. A forgotten memory returned. Years ago, during the hospital fire, Frederick had been trapped beneath burning rubble. Beside him, a small boy cried endlessly, "Little Daniel." Frederick stretched out his hand. "Please, help us." Then Ryan and Grace appeared. Ryan looked at Frederick, turned to Grace, then at the crying child. Ryan and Grace had desperately wanted children for years. That day, they made a choice, a terrible choice. They picked up Daniel and walked away, leaving Frederick behind to die. Meanwhile, Sarah escaped with Lena. Sarah believed he was dead. She mourned for years. Eventually, she remarried.
I now pronounce you husband and wife.
Woo, congratulations.
I love you, Sarah.
I love you too.
However, surprisingly, Frederick did not die. Rescuers eventually found him, barely alive, his face severely burned. He spent 6 years unconscious. When he finally woke up, his life was gone. He had lost his memory due to the incident. Everything had vanished. Sarah had changed her surname from Frederick to Hart after her new marriage. And that was why Judge Frederick never recognized the victim's name, and why nobody realized they were once husband and wife. However, why were Ryan and Grace at the hospital that night? They hadn't been at the hospital by chance that night. Since they had struggled to have a child for years, the fertility clinic had become a regular part of their lives. And on the night of the fire, they were there for yet another appointment. Then everything changed. Back in the courtroom, the truth exploded. Ryan and Grace never adopted Daniel. They stole him during the hospital fire. Daniel collapsed in tears. Everything he believed about his life was a lie. Lena cried uncontrollably. Judge Frederick stared at them both. The birthmarks, the faces, the resemblance. His knees nearly gave way. After years of searching, after years of believing his children were gone, his twins were sitting in his courtroom, alive. The courtroom fell into complete silence. Judge Frederick could barely breathe. His hands trembled. For the first time in his judicial career, Judge Frederick broke down in open court. Frederick slowly removed his glasses. Then he spoke, his voice shaking.
I am recusing myself from this case due to being personally affected by the revelations.
Another judge will be assigned to preside over this matter.
Court is adjourned.
The courtroom erupted into whispers, but the shocks were not over. Officer Blake rose from his seat, then turned toward Ryan. Ryan Williams. The entire room looked at him. You are under arrest for the suspected kidnapping and unlawful concealment of a child during the hospital fire 26 years ago. Ryan's face turned pale. The handcuffs clicked around his wrists. Daniel watched in disbelief as officers led Ryan away. Grace lowered her head in shame. And somewhere in the middle of the chaos stood two broken twins. A father they had just found, a mother they had just lost, and a truth that had shattered every lie their lives were built upon. Weeks later, Daniel and Lena stood before Sarah's grave. Judge Frederick stood
She's with
quietly
us.
behind them.
I miss her so much.
We all do. We lost our mother. But maybe we don't have to lose our father too. Come on.
A family torn apart by secrets, finally reunited by the truth. Some truths destroy lives, some truths save them, but the most painful truths do both.
We used to laugh till the morning light, your hand in mine, and everything felt right. But the warmth we had started turning cold, and quiet weight we couldn't hold. Oh, and did our love become our pain, pouring down on us like freezing rain? Every touch we share just leaves a scar. Look at how broken we are. It hurts to stay, but it hurts to walk away. When love became pain.
Yeah, I already know you enjoyed that one. If you want more crazy stories like this, don't forget to follow or subscribe, like, and share. See you around.